Good morning, everyone. Is my voice audible? Shreyas?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, why the strength is so less? Whether 8:30 class was there or not? 8:30 class ಇತ್ತ ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್?
Yes, sir. It.
ಮುಗೀತಾ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್?
ಹ್ಞೂ ಸರ್ ಮುಗ್ದಿದೆ 9 ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಮುಗ್ದಿತ್ತು.
ಹೌದಾ? But still the strength is 19. Okay, we cannot wait. Already I have waited for 5 minutes. We are given sufficient time to join. We'll start the class now. Okay, in the previous class we are discussing about the differences between the microprocessor and the microcontroller. You can visualize like this. You can see the diagram. See, in the microprocessor, a complete unit contains only a processing unit. All the other components, peripherals, it is outside the microprocessor. It can be the memory, input output ports, or any other components. It is external to the microprocessor. But when you come up with a microcontroller, a unit which contains a microprocessor, it contains a ROM, it contains a RAM, it contains input output, everything inside that unit. Totally, it is called as a microcontroller. That you should remember this. This diagram will help you in framing the definitions if anyone asks what is a microprocessor and a microcontroller. A processor which contains only a processing unit, all the other things are external, but a microcontroller, it contains processor, all the other components, so many devices, peripherals, ROM, RAM, input output unit. This much is introduction is enough for this microprocessor and controller, and I have given you the all the major differences between that. Then we'll go to the ARM embedded system. First of all, what is this ARM? ARM is nothing but it is one microcontroller, one of the microcontroller. The full form of the ARM is Advanced RISC Machine, or ACORN, acron RISC Machine. What is this embedded system? The embedded system is nothing but it is one a hardware system. With that, software will also be there, and this is been designed for some specific purpose. And this system, it can be an alone system, it can be an independent system, or in a big larger system, it is one part. Example, in the micro oven, in the micro ovens, in the washing machines, in the dishwashers, everywhere, in the household appliances, there will be a microcontroller. It is one embedded system. Or the mobile phones, it is there in your hand. It is one example of an embedded system. The MP3 players, the video game consoles, the digital camera that also in the background it contains a microcontroller. That is also which is called as an embedded system. A DVD players and or the any GPS units, everything we are going to call it an embedded system because it contains the hardware and also it contains the software and it performs some task. Then that system you can call it as an embedded system. I think the definition of an embedded system is clear, which is called as an embedded. It should contain the hardware, it should contain the software, and it should perform some dedicated task. This embedded system in a larger system, it is can be one part or it can be an independent system itself. It is not always the alone a single if there should be only one microcontroller with that there should not be any other components. No, this embedded system can be a part in a larger system. These are the examples of an embedded system. uh, we'll come to the ARM now. We'll start learning the ARM. This ARM, as I already said, it is used in the mobile phones. What is about the history of the ARM? When they have introduced it is in the 80s and 90s. They have introduced this ARM. It is not now. It is in 80s and 90s they have introduced, and Who have developed it is from the IBM. They have started this ARM. From the 80s and 90s, they have been using this ARM. In the Sony Ericsson mobile, I think you have heard, there they have used this ARM. Even in the Apple iPhones, there is a ARM unit. In the 1983, they have come up with this first commercial RISC implementation. See, where they have used. There are so many versions of ARMs. ARM 7, 9, 11. See, the ARM 11 they have used in the Apple iPhones, the Nokia N93, N800. At so many places they have used this ARM. Now in the real time also, now if you want to check Cortex V82, Cortex, C-O-R-T-E-X, Cortex V82 version is the latest version of the ARM. Now they are coming with that name, Cortex, which is a real-time hybrid processor. It's a real-time, the fast processor, Cortex V82, that you can check. Why this ARM is special? Why these microcontrollers are special? Because of the power consumption, very less power consumption, and also the reasonable performance. Performance is very good. That is why these ARMs is so special. In order to understand RAM, this ARM, we should understand this RISC. See, in the previous class, I was discussing about the RISC and CISC. I was telling about the RISC and CISC, and in the beginning itself, I have said one definition. There is the RISC is emphasis on the software, and the CISC, the complex instruction set computer, it is emphasis on hardware. And some of your friends have asked the doubt, what is this emphasis on hardware and software? See, as I already said, RISC, it is reduced instruction set, means less number of instruction sets are there compared to the CISC. Instruction set is nothing but number of instructions supported for addition, multiplication, division, for load, store, for jump instruction, for branch instructions. These are all the instructions. These number of instructions are very less in the RISC. If you count the instruction set, in the RISC it is less, in the CISC it is more. In that case, what happens if the instructions are less? Then the instruction size is also less. If that is the case, then those instructions, it will be executed in the single cycle. Executed in the single cycle meaning, I think you have seen the pipelining in the computer architecture. Pipelining anta kelidira ansutte. Fetch, decode, execute, they are all the stages of execution. See, if we say in terms of seconds, any task we are going to do in 5 seconds, 10 seconds. In the same way, in the computer, in the system, we are going to talk in terms of cycles. The instruction will execute in 1 cycle. The instruction will execute in 2 clock cycles. If you talk from the system point of view, we are going to talk in terms of clock cycles. As a human being, for us, if they ask you how we are going to do, means we are going to say in terms of seconds. In 10 seconds, I'm going to do this much. In 5 hours, I'm going to do this much. In 10 minutes, I'm going to complete 10 tasks or 5 tasks. I think this is clear. What is the meaning of this cycle? In that way, since the instruction size is also less, the number of instruction set is also less, this instruction will execute in the single cycle. But the simple operations, if you example some divide operation, this divide operation, if you write a code, since the instruction number of instruction set is less in the RISC, the number of instructions will be more. In the CISC, it can be a single instruction, divide some value, what is the numerator and what is the denominator. The same thing in the RISC, it will be 2 to 3 instructions. If there are more number of the instructions, what is the problem? ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗ the program size will become big. If the program size will become big, then the usage of the RAM will be more. In the CISC, the usage of RAM will be less because in the RISC, the instructions, number of instructions are more. A simpler operation, say like a division operation, you have to write around 3 to 4 instructions. The larger size, the program size will increase, then that is why the greater complexity will be on the software. That is why we say the risk is more emphasis on the software. There is a greater complexity in the software itself. But in the CISC, what is the problem? The instruction, we have more instruction set. Therefore, the complexity will move towards the hardware because those instructions will be executed in the hardware. That is why multiple transistors we are going to use in the hardware. Multiple transistors we are going to use in the processor. That is why more greater complexity will be on the hardware. That is why we use the word CISC is emphasis on the hardware because complexity is in the hardware. In the RISC, complexity is on the software because of the larger program size. I think this doubt is clear. What is the meaning of emphasis on the hardware and emphasis on the software? Is it clear? Okay. The next thing is, as I already said, instruction means reduced set or it is a fixed length. The four major, there are so many things are there in the RISC to discuss. The four major design things that we are going to discuss in the RISC is, we talk about instructions, we talk about pipeline, registers, and load and store architecture. Which are those, what is that instruction is, as I already said, reduced set. And this is going to be executed in the single cycle. And also the instruction length is fixed. But in the CISC, it is variable. Fixed length means it can be of 16-bit or it is 32-bit. That is the main thing. Pipelining, as I already said, pipelining means there are multiple stages in the execution. Any instruction, if you write some div division, some register R1 and R2, if you write, in that case, what happens? This instruction, it should be first decoded. You have to understand the mnemonics of that. div ಗೆ alternate ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಡಿಕೋಡ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಇಂದ ಫೆಚ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. You have to fetch the values from the register. Therefore, after that, you have to execute and also again you have to write the values. So many stages are there. These are the stages which comes under pipeline. All these things in the RISC, it can be decoded in the one stage itself. But this decoding of the instructions in the CISC, it takes multiple stages. That is the major thing. Pipelining. Instructions, it is reduced set. What about the registers? If you check about the x86 8086 microprocessor in the internet or somewhere, you search about the 8086 register set, there are 16-bit registers are there. AX, BX, DX, CX. There are 16-bit registers. If you want to use it as an 8-bit registers, AX will be divided into AL, AH. BX will be divided into BL, BH. Lower and higher order. There are almost 8 8-bit registers are there. Only those registers you have to use, and you cannot use all those 8 registers for general purpose. General purpose meaning, whenever you write the program, you cannot store the values in any of the registers. I'm talking about 8086 microprocessor programming. Here we are going to discuss ARM, microcontroller programming. I'm talking about 8086 programming. In 8086 microprocessor programming, there four 16-bit registers are there: AX, BX, CX, DX. The same AX, if you want to use it as 8-bit, AX can be divided as AL, AH. BX can be divided as BL, BH. In that way, those registers, for some specific purpose, they have used those registers. But in case of the ARM, here the register, you have so many R1 to R0 to R5, so many registers are there, R1, R2, R3, R4. I'll show the diagram. There are so many larger set of general purposes registers are there. That is what it is special in the RISC. And what is the advantage with this register? If you provide more number of registers, what is the advantage is, if you want to write a program and if you start fetching the values from the registers, and the same time you get the values from the memory. ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ? ಒಂದು ಡೇಟಾ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್, ಎರಡೇ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಒಂದು ಡೇಟಾ, ಸಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 20 + 30, 20 is a data, or the address means somewhere you have to fetch the value. In that case, you want the address of that location in the RAM or in the memory. In that case, address, if you want to fetch the address or the data, if you check the time, more time is required to get the value from the memory. And the same time, if you want to get the value from the register, it takes very less time. That is why register operations are faster, memory operations are slower. If you provide more and more general purpose registers, if you provide more and more general purpose register, you can achieve faster performance. Performance will be very good. That is the advantage with the if you give more and more general purpose registers, performance will be very good, because memory operations are very slow, register operations are very fast. And that is what it is different in the RISC registers, more number of registers compared to the CISC. And what about the load and store architecture? The load and store architecture, this data processing instructions, this apply to these registers only. And this load and store, we are going to use, a load is nothing but you are going to load from somewhere. Where? From somewhere, from the memory. Load means what exactly the load instructions we are going to do is load into the register from the memory. Store means store the value from the register into the memory. That is what the load instruction and the store instructions. Totally, this separate load and store instructions, it transfers the data between the register bank and external memory. Since this memory access are costlier, so we are going to separate memory access from data processing instructions. Finally, what we have to do is we have to avoid multiple memory accesses. That is what the problem with the CISC. There will be more memory accesses. That is why the CISC, it becomes slower. After discussing all these four major design rules, if you think the RISC has a more advantage, no. In the current market, if you check whether the processor, whether they use totally RISC, no. Whether they use totally RISC, no. They are going to use CISC and more number of RISC features. They are going to combine both. In the market, if you check the processors, what architecture they have used both CISC architectures and also RISC architecture. They have taken the advantages of both the RISC and CISC, and they have designed the processors. These are the four major design about the RISC: instructions, pipeline, registers, load and store. See, this diagram that will give you some more idea on what is the emphasis. The risk is emphasis on the software. Software is nothing but here the compiler. The compiler which generates the code, and then that will be given to the processor. In the CISC, the complexity, it is more on the processor, because more number of the instruction length is also more. That is why you have to use more number of the hardware in the processor, because the without the hardwares you cannot process the instruction itself. Therefore, more number of transistors that you are going to use here. That is why greater complexity. That is what we have discussed. What about the main risk design philosophy? Now we are coming for ARM, specifically for ARM. What is the design philosophy they use? Means what exactly ARM design is, whether they have completely used the risk design in the ARM or they have done some changes. We already know ARM uses RISC architecture itself. ARM microcontroller uses RISC architecture. But what we are discussing here is whether exactly the RISC design they have used in the ARM or some changes are there. What is this ARM? What speciality in this is? As I already said, it is power consumption is very less. And we say high code density. Code density means more number of the codes are at some specific places, at some specific places. In the limited memory, at some specific places, if there is more code, then it is called as high code density. What is the advantage with high code density is, if you do the sequential access, next, if you go to the next location, you are going to get the next instruction for execution. Move to the next position, you will get another instruction. The sequential access, that will improve the performance. If they are at the random places, if one instruction is at the address 1 and next instruction is at the address 100, you have to move to those many locations. Another instruction at address 200. If they are at the random places, performance will be really very less. Then that the meaning is code density is very less. That is why in this ARM, what it is special is, it is high code density. Then you can use lower cost, slow and lower cost memory you can use, because all the codes that is going to be get at a single location means faster memory is not required. If faster memory is not required means the cost is also very less. And also the size of the die is nothing but the ARM size, the microcontroller size, that is also very less. The ARM processor, what it contains, that size is also very less. If that size is less, manufacture cost will also be very less. And you can include so many peripherals. Peripherals is nothing but all the other components that what you are going to connect. This is special about the ARM. Lower power consumption, smallest core, limited memory, high code density, and also the die size. Die size is nothing but the microcontroller size. That is also small. But ARM, it is not completely pure RISC architecture. It has done some changes. That you have to remember. ARM core completely, it has not used the RISC architecture. Some variation is there. That variation we'll discuss now. What is that variation is? As I already said, instructions that is going to execute in single clock cycle. There are some instructions in the ARM that takes more than one clock cycles. Those instructions are load and store. Load and store, multiple instructions are there that takes more number of more than one clock cycle, single cycle to execute. That is a small variation in the ARM compared to the RISC architecture. If it is a pure RISC architecture, all the instructions should execute in a single clock cycle. But in the ARM, there are examples. One is load and store, multiple instructions are there that takes more than one clock cycle. And there is one more hardware component is there. In the ARM, in the ARM, in the ARM processor, if you open and check, there is an one hardware component that is called inline barrel shifter that is going to process the registers. As I already said, there are some 15 registers are there, general purpose registers, that it is going to pre-process, that it is going to pre-process the data which is contained in the input registers. For what purpose it is going to help? That is going to helpful for the code density. Code density andre artha ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, code density and core performance. That will help for the core density and core performance, that it is not available in any other systems which follows RISC architecture. And what special is there in case of the ARM is, as I already said, it is of fixed length. The ARM instruction, it is of fixed length, but some variation is there. You can write the instruction size can be 32-bit, or you can write the instruction, it is of 16-bit. This much flexibility is there. You can write an instruction which is of size 16-bit, and you can write the instruction which is of size 32-bit. Is it clear? That is called as thumb 16-bit instruction set. That is a flexibility they have given. Always we write 32-bit instruction, but even there is a chances of writing 16-bit instruction that will help for code density. I'll give some 30 seconds. Everyone please send your attendance. Then we'll continue with the class, because at the end you may not send the attendance because of the shortage of time.